snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, so I went to Waterstones today and I got a lot of books. I only just did a book haul of a load of books that I got when I went on my trip round Nottingham. Literally 2 days ago that was. 2 days and I got 9 books. But I went into Waterstones today with my boyfriend and I splurged. In fact, he bought me most of these books, so I didn't actually spend very much money because I got £20 from my grandma at the weekend. My boyfriend was with me and bought me all the rest of the books, so I spent £20, but it was money that I was given. So I didn't spend anything to get all of these books, actually. But I got a lot of books. If you have seen the thumbnail for this video, you'll see that it's this bag. And this bag I had to buy to fit the books in, because I wouldn't have got it home otherwise. It's a nice bag though. I love the Waterstones bags. I think they're super pretty. I'm going to show you guys this anyway. And then it says on it, "A bookcase is as good as a view, as much of a panorama as the sight of a city or a river. There are dawns and sunsets in books, storms, fogs and zephyrs." Anyway, it's a really nice quote and it's a nice pattern and the bag is such good quality, excellent for carrying books. So I already have a Waterstones bag that I had to buy one time before when I went mad and bought a massive load of books, and now I've got 2, which I'm not complaining about. I'm pretty happy about having them because they are excellent bags. Anyway, on to the books. I have 7 books and we got them all at full price, so they were pretty expensive, but it was just one of those days where it was a beautiful day, it was all sunny and we wanted to go for a walk and a wander and go shopping and ended up in Waterstones, and what can you do? Just one of those magical days of spending money. The first book that I got is actually the 4th one in a series, and this is the 4th one in the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. It's called House of Chains and it's by Stephen Erickson, and I needed this book because I am currently reading the series and I'm really enjoying it. I'm on the 3rd book at the moment, which is definitely the best one so far, and it's really picking up and everything is really kicking off. The first 2 books kind of feel like introductions into the series and meeting the characters and that sort of thing, whereas the 3rd one really feels like a development of the plot and it's really engaging and I'm loving it. So I'm super excited about this one, and I have no doubt that this one will continue the series in a great way because I love his writing and I think it's really a different and unique series, which is great. There's a lot of very cool elements that all come together into this series, and yeah, so I thought I would pick this one up so that I had it ready for next month when I plan on reading it. And then Waterstones has this thing where they have a lot of tables sort of placed around the store with certain themes. So there are some that are science fiction and fantasy, and I was perusing those and I picked quite a few books off their suggestion tables. So these books are all off of those tables and I'm going to show you guys. So the first one I got off the tables was Douglas Adams's The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and this is the trilogy of 4, which is basically all 4 of the books in this series in a bind-up. I have already read the first one, which is called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because I listened to it on audiobook because it was narrated by Stephen Fry and I love him. So I really enjoyed the first one and I wanted to continue on with the series, but I hadn't been able to find this edition, which is the one I wanted, for ages. So when I saw this on the table and my boyfriend offered to pay a little bit towards it, he didn't really know what he was getting into and I picked this one up. So this one includes The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, Life, the Universe and Everything, and So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. As you guys can probably tell by the titles, it's a bit of a bonkers series. It's about kind of cruising around the universe, getting up to all sorts of crazy stuff, but it's very satirical and funny, and it just is really well written, very hilarious, lots of cool things happen, and I really enjoyed the first, so I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the rest as well. I believe it was originally a radio programme, or has been a radio programme at some point, and I also believe that there is a TV show or movie that has come out, so I definitely want to check those out at some point too if I like these books, but I plan on reading the books first. Next I picked up The City, which is by Stella Gemmell. Don't know a lot about this one, but I have seen this for years in the shops, years, and it's one that always catches my eye. I don't know what it is about the cover design or what it is about the title or anything. I just love the design of it, and it just always catches my eye. It just always draws me to it. Whenever I see it in the bookshop, I always notice this. So I thought now was finally the time to pick this one up. It says on the back, "The city is ancient and vast. For centuries it has been the cause of constant conflict and countless deaths. At the city's heart resides the Emperor. Few have ever seen him. Some speculate that he is no longer human. Others wonder if he ever truly was. And there are those who have concluded that the only way to halt the ceaseless slaughter is to end his unnaturally long life. The hopes of these rebels, drawn from the city's rotting catacombs and its blood-soaked fields of battles, rests with one man, a legendary soldier able to lead an uprising and unite a people. A man who was betrayed, imprisoned, tortured, and who might quite possibly be dead." That sounds pretty damn good to me. Love the idea of like a big emperor who no one's seen for years. That sounds really, really intriguing. Definitely something I'm very excited about. It's quite a dense book, it's quite heavy. It's around 700 pages, so it is quite a dense book for the size. It doesn't look that long, but it definitely is. But it's certainly one that I've been really interested in for a while. I think it came out like years ago. It first came out in 2013, so not that long ago, but it just always catches my eye when I see it, so really, really interested. Oh, so she was actually married to David Gemmell. Didn't know that, but there's a little snippet for you. Just found that out from reading the front of the book. There's a lot of praise on the back for it as well. It says, "A sweeping novel of great power" from Tor.com, which is pretty good. I love Tor. "One of the best fantasy novels I've read in a long time, and I read a lot. Utterly compelling. An awesome example of the genre," which is from SF Book Reviews. So there's a lot of praise for this book and Stella's writing in general, and I'm just really intrigued. I don't know if it's part of a series or if it's a standalone, but either way it just sounds really interesting, and I hope I'm going to really love it when I get to it. So super happy that I finally have this book in my hands. The next book is one that when I asked for science fiction recommendations, loads of you guys told me to go and get. So I did, and that one is Ancillary Justice by Ann Leckie. I've heard amazing things about this. Literally everyone I know raves about this series if they like science fiction. They seem to really, really enjoy it. It's quite a short book from what I can tell, but I think a lot of science fiction are shorter than fantasy. It was also the 2014 Hugo, Nebula and Arthur C. Clarke winner, so it definitely has a lot of awards and it probably earns them, so I'm hoping I'll love this, but I have no doubt it's going to be interesting either way. Obviously it's really, really cool, everyone says it is. On a remote icy planet, a soldier known as Breck is drawing closer to completing her quest. Breck is both more than she seems and less than she was. Years ago, she was the Justice of Tauran, a colossal starship and an artificial intelligence controlling thousands of soldiers in the service of the Radcha, the empire that conquered the galaxy. An act of treachery has ripped it all away, leaving her with only one fragile human body, but that might just be enough to take revenge against those who destroyed her. And it also says on the back, it's one of the only debut books to ever get all of these awards, so I'm really, really excited about it. Lots of high praise from everyone I know, lots of high praise on Goodreads, lots of high praise on various other social websites, and obviously the bookshops like it because it was again on the recommendation table. So super, super excited about this, and I hope I'm going to really love it as well. Then I picked up a fairly new release, and that one is A Darker Shade of Magic, which is by V.E. Schwab. This is her second book. I believe it's a standalone. I didn't read her first book, Vicious, even though it sounds interesting, I just never had the chance to pick it up. So when I saw this one, and I absolutely loved the cover and the colour scheme, I wanted to pick it up, and I've heard a few people talking about it, and it sounds like a really interesting premise. So it says, Kel is one of the last travellers, magicians with a rare ability to travel between parallel universes connected by one magical city. There's Grey London, without magic and ruled by a mad king, George III. Red London, where magic is revered and where Kel was raised alongside the heir to the Empire. White London, where people fight to control the remaining magic and magic fights back. And once there was Black London. Officially, Kel is a red traveller, carrying letters between the monarchs of each London. Unofficially, he is a smuggler, a defiant hobby with dangerous consequences. His escape to Grey London leads to a run-in with Delilah, a cut-purse with lofty aspirations who forces Kel to take her on a proper adventure. But perilous magic is afoot, and an adventure becomes a mission to save all of the worlds. I love the idea that this is set in London. I love the idea that there are different factions of London, and To me it just sounds like a really fun and interesting story, so I'm hoping I'm really going to enjoy it. I definitely think it will be something a little bit different, and I do love the idea of magicians. I've been reading the Magicians series by Lev Grossman and enjoying it a lot, so I'm interested in seeing sort of magicians in the real world, and as this is set in London, I guess that kind of counts. But I'm really excited about this and I hope I'm going to really love it. So again, it's not too long, so it shouldn't take too long to get through. The next book is another one that I've heard very good things about, and that is Lagoon, which is by Nnendi Okorafor. I've heard very good things about this from various people who have read it or are currently reading it, and it's quite short. It's really short, but I love the cover. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm very interested in what it is all about. It says, "A star fell from the sky, a woman rises from the sea, the world will never be the same. Three strangers, each isolated by his or her own problems, Adora the marine biologist, Anthony the world-famous rapper, Agu the troubled soldier, wandering the beach outside Lagos, Nigeria's capital city. They're more alone than they've ever been before, but when a meteorite hits the ocean and a tidal wave overcomes them, these three people will find themselves bound together in ways they've never imagined. Together with Ayodele, a visitor from beyond the stars, they must race through Lagos against time itself in order to save the city, the world, and themselves." So I like it. I like the idea that this is going to be kind of like a lagoon, maybe, and it's going to be like an underwater city or a flooded city. I haven't really read anything that encompasses that sort of genre or idea. I don't read a lot of science fiction or anything like that, and it sounds like it's just going to be really cool. Probably quite easy to get through. Definitely one I'm looking forward to. And the final one that I picked up is one that I know literally nothing about. I've heard no one talking about it. It was on the table of recommendations. I really like the cover. Burton and Swinburne in The Strange Affair of Spring-Heeled Jack. And this is a debut novel by Mark Hodder. It says on the back, it is 1861, and Albertan Britain is in the grip of conflicting forces. Engineers transform the landscape with bigger, faster, noisier and dirtier technological wonders. Eugenicists develop specialist animals to provide unpaid labour. Libertines oppose restrictive and unjust laws and flood the country with propaganda demanding a society based on beauty and creativity, while the rakes push the boundaries of human behaviour to the limits with magic, sexuality, drugs and anarchy. Returning from his failed expedition to find the source of the Nile, explorer, linguist, scholar and swordsman Sir Richard Francis Burton finds himself sucked into the perilous depths of this moral and ethical vacuum, where the Prime Minister, Lord Palmerston, employs him as the King's spy. His first mission? To investigate the sexual assaults committed by a weird apparition known as the Spring-Heeled Jack, to find out why chimney sweeps are being kidnapped by half-men, half-dog creatures, and to discover the whereabouts of his badly injured former friend, John Hanning Speke. This sounds really cool. I don't know if it's going to be awesome or terrible, because it's a debut, but it does say on the front it is the best debut novel I've read in ages, which is by Michael Moorcock, so I'm guessing that's good praise, and I'm really interested in it. I love the fact that it's set in London. Pretty much anything set in the UK or London and fantasy-based is really interesting to me because I actually know it and I kind of get it. There's a penny farthing in the front of it, which I love. I think that's super cool. I just really like the style of it. I think it's just really interesting and different, and hopefully I'll really enjoy it. It seems like it could be really awesome, and again, if you've heard anything about this or any of the other ones that I mentioned, definitely leave me your thoughts or suggestions or ideas, because I would love to know, especially this one because I've not heard of it or seen it anywhere before, which was really interesting. So definitely leave me your thoughts and suggestions. If you want me to pick up any of these particularly quickly, then definitely let me know which ones you would like me to review sooner rather than later. And I'm super excited about them all. Thank you to my boyfriend who bought them all for me. He is amazing, and yeah, thank you. Super excited about these. Cannot wait to read them all. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little